Hey there, we're Shannon and Jerry Arner, your hosts of the Arner Adventures podcast.
We're a minimalist couple driven by intentional living and adventure.
Burned out from the 24/7 grind of running our business, we traded the hustle and the bustle for something more meaningful.
We parted ways with most of our belongings and moved to the coast.
Listen along as we chat about life's challenges, share inspiring stories of those who have taken big leaps to live a life outside of the norm,
and help you live with more intention and less physical and mental clutter.
Each episode is a step toward doing and being just a little bit better for ourselves and the world around us.
Life's an adventure after all. Join us for the ride.
It's the Arner Adventures podcast.
Hello, everybody. This is Shannon. We are taking a break this week for the upcoming July 4th holiday. We all need breaks. We've never taken a break from a podcast episode. So what we decided to do was replay an episode from our first year, and it is all about budget summer getaways, summer vacations. If you don't want to spend a ton of money, but you still want to get away. And there's some really great ideas in it. We thought it would be really helpful for this time of year. You don't have to do it for July 4th. Who wants to go away for July 4th? We're not. We're just taking a staycation and taking some time off. So I hope that if you're tuning in, thank you. And I hope that this episode is beneficial to you. And we will see you next week. A lot of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, we haven't really planned anything this summer, haven't taken time off, and we need a vacay before the summer's over. But fear not, we have some budget-friendly vacation ideas for you, so you're not going to go without a getaway.
That's right.
Well, today we hope that this helps give some of you who may or may not have taken some of those summer vacays and or are looking for a last-minute getaway, but just don't want to break the bank to do it.
Yeah, we had Graham Brown on the podcast a month or so ago, and we talked about how travel doesn't have to be expensive, kids. So many people let money get in the way when it comes to travel or putting their lives on hold. So we thought, you know what? There may be some people who just need a weekend or a few days away and just need some ideas to do it.
We put together a few of those ideas for you and hope that this can prompt some of you to take some time away, unplug, relax, recharge, and vacay.
That's right.
Yeah. You would get started with probably your favorite one.
Yeah, I think this is undoubtedly what should be the number one. It's camping. We love camping.
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed camping a lot. And the great thing about it is it's a minimal kind of thing, very primitive.
If you want it to be primitive.
If you want it to be.
Or it can be a glamping experience.
Yeah, glamping experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of a new thing out there. So it can be any way you want it, really.
Yeah.
This can be something you do at the last minute. You don't have to go to your local camping store and look up on a bunch of expensive merchandise. You can get a tent or for super cheap, or you can put a message on your local Nextdoor app or on Facebook, or send a text out to some friends and family asking to borrow a tent.
Somebody's got a tent.
How they say in Eastern North Carolina, borry a tent.
Do they?
I think they do. Some of them,
okay.
Not everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can locate a national park near you, and we will link it in the show notes.
Yeah, national parks. One time, Jerry and I were we were on the road and just looking for some places to camp, and we were like, when you don't know where you are and you're just camping, you're like, you don't want to just trust anything. And so the National Park Service is sort of a good, reliable thing to count on. So it's nps.gov/find-a-park. We will link it, like Jerry said, but the really great thing about that link is you can sort of sort it by campsites. You can put, if it is primitive, like if they have bathrooms, if they don't have bathrooms, if they have site hookups, all of that sort of thing.
Important stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If there even is camping allowed, sometimes they have RV hookups. Sometimes it's only tents. There's a national park lighthouse area near us that only has tents available, or tent camping available.
Yeah.
So it's a really great place to start if you're on the road. Or There's also this really great website called Hip Camp, and we're going to link that in the show notes as well, that we found where you can book really cool outdoor unique stays, tent camping, RV parks, tree houses, glamping experiences. They do include national parks, apple farms,
alpaca
farms that you can go and stay and camp.
Mhm.
It's all kinds of really cool experiences. They have a really cool story on there. I won't get into it. It's just this couple that from California that they love camping.
Yeah.
And they sort of curated all of these experiences on this website and put it all across the US. And so anyway,
it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something a lot of people might not think about, but yes, go to Hip Camp and look for all these wonderful possibilities.
Yeah. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. I mean, you can really do camping on the cheap or glamp it up. The second thing I think is really cool, and not enough people do this. We do it now that we live on the coast, and North Carolina is a pretty wide state. We have a lot of different things in our state, mountains and coast. And now
so much in between.
Is house swap. Now, there are websites that you can sign up and do this. We have never taken part of those websites, so we won't even talk about them because we don't know enough about it. I do have some blogger friends and contacts who do this on like a international level where they have done some house swap stuff, but we've never done that. But what we're talking about on the cheap, some last minute, summer vacay things is same thing where if you're asking for the tent, send some texts out to your network of family and friends who live in various places and literally swap locations. Yeah. We did this recently. Some people came here to stay at our house and we went and stayed at theirs.
Yeah, it was fine. And don't confuse this with the very popular reality show a few years ago, Spouse Swap.
I think it was Wife Swap.
Was it Wife Swap?
Which is even more weird.
A little more bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the houses.
It's just the house.
The couples stay together.
This is a different kind of podcast.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, look, widen your circle if you want. We'd only do this with people we trust, but we are talking about your network of family and friends that you say, hey, you live, here, we live here. You want to just house swap. Sometimes it's just a change of scenery. You just need to get away. They need to get away. You just change it up. Another thing is that if you know that someone is going away, they're going on a vacation and I don't know, they have a really cool pool and you say, hey, do you mind if I, go stay at your house? We take a little mini vacay at your house. And of course, again, these are people that and trust and you're not invading their space and getting weird by asking some strangers this. But, if you have some family who are leaving and you say, you mind if I house sit, watch your house and keep it looking lived in while you're gone, I'm sure they would appreciate it as long as you take care of it.
Well, it's a great idea. And I'm surprised it seems so new in a way. You would think like this is an age-old idea, but I don't think it really is, though. It's kind of a new thing, but it seems like just a great opportunity to me.
It's really strange to me that there are websites. There's actually websites now about house sitting and going national and international with it. You sign up on these directories to do it and actually pay to do it. And I'm thinking, wow, that just seems really strange to me. Just like ask somebody if you could just house sit for them. But, I don't know, like pay to go and house sit for someone. That's what I think is strange.
I think so too. I would think you would maybe be paid or just be paid to be in that spot because you're vacationing.
Right. But sometimes you just need to get away. So that is super cheap and could be free. All you're paying for is the gas and whatever you need at that person's house.
Yeah, correct. I'll tell you what. And there's another one. This is the third one. I think we're going to go right into this. It's a good time for a segue. Drive to a city you've never been to for an adventure.
Yeah, we've done this several times.
Yeah. And you can have a great time.
And it's always a city that we think is going to be, sometimes we think it's going to be really lame. And the way it comes up is we go, oh, there's this brewery that we heard opened up, but it's in this city. We won't name them because we think they're going to be lame and then they aren't. But we'll say, oh, but it's over here. And I don't know. I don't think there's a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
And we'll go. And then it ends up being this really cool city or cool town.
Yeah.
And then you end up staying and having this adventure in the town you've never been to.
I think the small towns that you can discover, the little nooks and crannies, roadside America.
Yes.
Just just the America that used to be, kind of just the old little towns. And
Yeah.
you discover a lot of cool little things. And they're not far away a lot of times. So
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. But I guess the idea is like kind of look what's in your own backyard and don't always get so pulled away by what might be the big fancy vacation.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be far away. Again, if visiting local vineyards or breweries or whatever it is of your interest, Google and see if there's one within 100 miles of you, and then go to it if it's in that town. And the app that and this is not sponsored, we just think it's a really great resource, is there's this app called Hotel Tonight. Some of you may have heard of it. And what we have found is I used to do this when I traveled for work a lot, but it's come in handy for us, is they have last minute hotel bookings the night of. So for those of you who may or may not know, the goal of every hotel is to fill their properties at 100% capacity every single day. That is their goal. So if at the end of a evening they have not done that, it's called heads in beds. If there is not heads in every single bed, they drop their prices last minute because they need to have the property at 100% occupancy. And so what they do, a lot of them will, if you go on Hotel Tonight, you will find that the properties all of a sudden have dropped prices. And it's interesting. You can follow the properties throughout the day and you will see them drop. So if you're in a town you've never been to, keep that app on your phone and just watch it. And sometimes you can get, 4 and 5 star hotels at motel prices. It's really, really cool. So we've had that experience before, and in cities we've never been to. And it's a really great way to have a really cool adventure for just a few days.
Yeah, no, it's another great idea. There's so many out there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one, I think, and we wanted to kind of include, we know that we're on the coast and we didn't want to leave anyone out. So I think that the thing in the summer is always, go to the beach, go find some water. And so when we say for this option is find water, what we wanted to do was, for those of you who are landlocked, we do think it's important, especially in the summer, to find water. And so what we wanted to do here was say, okay, literally find water. So of course, if you have a beach trips can be super cheap, but find lake, river, any body of water and go to it. And if you can't find a natural body of water, go to a water park. Adults, this is fun, even for adults to go and do it. It's fun to do. And if you book a trip at a local water park, you can stay at a little motel nearby. And motels are the best.
See how we're circling around here? Yeah, a little motel. At the little body of water. Doesn't have to be a big body of water. But just water. And I think people take for granted how important,
experiences.
Well, and water too. It's we're made of water. We're how much percent water?
It's like 80 or 90. It's a lot. It's a lot percent.
Well, that's you. I'm like 56%.
But most
people, most people are about 90% water.
Yeah.
But it's just, boy, I think that can enhance any getaway, is just being in water or just having some kind of fun in water.
Yeah.
Or around water.
And go find a cheap little motel that has a pool. Yeah. Bring a blender. Make some fun retro cocktails. Sit by that motel pool. How fun is that?
A lot of fun. Yeah.
I mean,
right down my alley.
That is fun. There you go. There's another option within an option.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're
think
sort of weaving all these together.
We love a little retro motel.
Oh my God.
You make sure it's safe, and I'm all about it.
Or not safe.
No, we want it safe.
We do want it safe.
We want it safe and clean.
We want it safe and clean.
But it doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, we do like a little motel.
Yeah.
We've had some really great adventures in motels.
We have. Yeah. They can be a lot of fun. There's just, I don't know if it's a particular kind of personality, but I know that's always appealed to me. Like your old school, especially in the mountains, the little drive-up motel.
Yeah.
Where there's 7 or 8 units right across, and then there's, I don't know, there's some sort of aura about it.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
And I would think for a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
And that's why we speak of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So going on the other end of the spectrum here on a larger scale, and we did want to include this because it is something that is possible, is number 5 option, actually kind of number 6 if you include the motel option, is book a cruise. Now hear us out. Some of you are like, I thought this was budget friendly, but it is. And I actually checked right before this recording and found several cruises that we could go on if we had the option, like this weekend, that we could go super cheap. So if you're open to the location, like you really just don't care about the location, booking last minute, aren't picky about a whole lot, you can totally book a last minute cruise, super budget friendly for a couple. We're talking about couples here. And like, if you're talking about getting your whole fam, that's a whole other story. But if you're talking about, and maybe for your family, you could do it on the cheap, but if you're talking about just a couple getting away for, 4 or 5 nights or less, you can totally do it budget friendly. There's ports all across the US. So if you're within a few hours driving distance to a cruise ship port, booking a cruise before the summer is over is totally an option, especially now while the cruise industry is doing its best to try to get business.
Yeah, no, indeed. Yeah, it's super cheap. You can do it on the super cheap. But just try to keep that as an option.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful option.
And with that being said, we're talking about a cruise without spending, tons of money on a lot of other things while you're there. I mean, we're talking about going on a cruise and enjoying the experience of the cruise, the ocean, whatever ports there are. We're not talking about going and, getting their biggest drink package and all of that stuff. You can really enjoy yourself without having to do all that.
You can do it stripped down. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's right. And let me just add the staycation, the ever important staycation that I think became probably it became a little more popular in recent years, and probably during the pandemic and all that. I think definitely during the pandemic, it became a thing. So be a tourist in your own town, because so many times, I think, and so many times if you're younger and you've moved from place to place, you move and you go, oh man, I never did like 3 or 4 of the things, and I lived there for 2 years. And so enjoy the things that are in your own backyard, so to speak, and just have a long weekend or whatever. Turn off your phone. Don't do any housework. Just basically unplug. Sit outside of your house a lot so you don't get caught up in the things you do inside your house.
I think the problem definitely for me is, like we've said before, we're going to have a staycation. For me, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think I have to, and I would recommend someone else do this too, is you would just have to tell people that you went away. Because I think if I said, okay, I'm going to stay home and have a staycation, I would still get phone calls. I would still get emails. I would feel like I needed to do everything. I would have to put everything on airplane mode.
Yeah.
And like you said, maybe get the baby pool out and back and get the blender going and stuff, and make a habit of not coming inside, and just, have a summer vacay in the backyard and hang out.
Well, and that's why people do go away, because they don't think they can get away from all the trappings of what they have around the house. So it is kind of hard to do. It takes a little bit of discipline, I think, to really work the staycation.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, here in Beaufort, we do live in other people's vacation land, but I do think there are those towns like we talked about. When you drive to the towns, and we've had those adventures in, I am sure that you all listening, everyone lives somewhere where there are adventures to be had. So go and take a hike, or go and find whatever it is that is an adventure in your backyard, and definitely do that.
If this episode resonated with you, or if you know of someone who would benefit from what we talked about, please share it with a friend.
It's a great way of supporting the podcast, and we really appreciate it.
Another way of supporting the pod is by leaving us a 5-star review or rating on the platform you are listening to us on.
And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That also supports us. You can always find us, the show notes, and sponsors who support the podcast at arneradventures.com.
And until next time, enjoy the journey you're on. We're wishing you lots of adventures.
Bye-bye.